What's up, culture makers? My name is Riley.
My name's Emma.
And we are here to talk about culture, to make culture, to
Culture make.
Culture make. And today, we're gonna be talking about airplanes. Airplane etiquette and why it matters. And then we're gonna talk about Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul coming up in 2022.
Maybe.
Let's get into it. I was not educated about this before. Emma here, she keeps me educated. I need you guys to tell us how this makes you feel. Let me just walk you through a scenario. Let me just describe a situation for you. You're on an airplane, right? And somebody sits in front of you. And this person has exceptionally long hair. And this person takes her hair and drapes it behind the chair so that it would caress your knees. How do you feel about that?
I think that's disgusting. As someone,
Not great. You don't feel great about it. I can guarantee you that.
I've never been on a plane, so I feel like I can't speak to the plane thing, but like if you're on like
You've never been, wait. Hold on. That took me a second. You've never been on a plane?
No.
Just like in general?
No. It freaks me out.
Why? Like, do you choose to not be on a plane or it's just never, the situation has never occurred?
My mom's tried to get me to go with them to like Mexico and stuff. I'm like, pass. I don't want to go on a plane.
Ever? No. You know I jumped out of a plane, right?
I don't want to think about that. Like, I've ridden a school bus, and, like, I don't like people touching me. Just
not the same thing? School buses and planes are not the same thing.
Well, like, if somebody's
I see what you're saying, the community transportation.
Public transportation. I guess, is a plane public transportation? Close enough.
I mean, no and yes. It like in the literal term of the words, it is. A plane is public and it is transportation. But I don't think it classifies. I think public transportation is like a bus, like a city bus, where people just come and go. You pay for your ticket. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's public transportation?
I just don't like the thought of people touching me and like invading my personal space.
Right. Yeah.
Someone's hair. It's not like skin to skin, but it's still you're still touching me.
Well, I've had many plane situations, and one time where I was sitting between two really nice people, and I literally like left the plane like making friends. Like I really liked them. I learned a little bit about their story, where they were headed. The girl on this side was it was her first time on a plane. She was freaking out, and so me and this other lady are like trying to like console this stranger that we don't know. Like it's okay. And then there was like a tiny little bit of turbulence, like really not bad, and she's like. And we're like, you're good. It's gonna be okay. So I've had those kinds of experiences, and then I've had situations where it's, or you get the, oh my gosh, when you have the entire row to yourself. Ooh. That is just, there's something magical about that. I've experienced that as well. And then there is the uncomfortable situations. One time I was sitting next to somebody who fell asleep and like was kind of leaning on me, but like he fell asleep like this, and it just like slowly became on me, and I was like in this weird situation of like, do I wake him up? So I say all this to say I've experienced the wide range, and I will say that would bother me so much. It would just be like, what are you doing? But like, and the fact that it would be touching me. Mm-hmm. Wait, why are we talking about this anyways? It happened?
It was a big deal. It was a big deal on Twitter. Like,
okay.
I feel like
I didn't know Twitter was still a thing.
That's what Ariana said. Apparently it's coming back.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
We're not on Twitter. Elsie Switch isn't on Twitter.
Let us know.
Do we need to be on Twitter?
We'll be on Twitter.
Is that where we need to be? Do we have a Facebook?
Yes.
That is unfortunate. We agree with the population, the general population, and the majority here that is wrong. And if you are somebody who does that, you need a come to Jesus moment about that. I don't know if you have community and if they just don't love you enough to tell you.
Tough love.
But here, I am your community now. Look at me right now. You don't do that. You better not do that. Actually, general plane etiquette. Let's talk about it. Okay, here we go. So your space is right here. You stay there.
In your seat.
In your seat, in your space. The only exception is if it is a long plane ride, mm-hmm. You're allowed to get up and go to the bathroom. If it is a short plane ride and you have to go to the bathroom and you didn't make that happen before.
Throwback to when James said that he...
I'm ashamed. No,
can't hold it, or that he holds it for hours on end to finish a movie instead of going, like, when he needs to go.
James, I don't need to know about James's pee process. James.
Back to the last episode. Or 2 episodes ago, whatever. He was
James.
explaining it.
Nobody wants to know that. Now I'm talking to James. James, this is my come to Jesus moment with you. Nobody wants to know about how you pee or when you pee or why you pee or where you pee. So just keep that to yourself. All right, we've somehow really gotten off track. It's actually not somehow, it's because of me. Okay, anyways, so Mike Tyson might be fighting
Logan Paul.
Didn't he just fight somebody? He fought somebody. We talked about it, I think.
Mayweather?
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Yep. I don't watch that stuff, but...
Well, it's a huge payout for him and Mike Tyson. Like, that's not...
Right.
It's not because it's going to be a great fight. It's because...
Dang, shots fired. She already said it's not going to be a great fight.
Him and Mike Tyson's going to, like, just knock him out. Like,
yeah.
A veteran against a rookie is not...
We need to... Well, that's some, like, Rocky Balboa stuff, you know, like... Just
How
like,
did that movie end?
I actually don't know. Well, which one? I just watched all of them. I think, but except for the last one, so I didn't watch all of them. Anyways, enough about Rocky. We take something and we make it worse. Welcome to Culture Makers. So you had a question for us. We are going to answer it.
Yes.
Because we answer your questions. Leave us questions in the comment section if you want us to answer yours. We'd love to talk to you. But this question is from Sulfur, and it is, would you please elaborate on the switch groups and how to join them?
Switch groups are so cool. Like, first of all, I just don't know of another church that lets you, like, pick a group, I guess, like, where you actually get to, like, be in a community of people that you, like, want to be in. Because my experience in youth group was, like, you're all in it together, whether you're bonding or not. And so switch groups are really cool because you get to be intimate with people your age that are going through similar things, even if they're in, like, a different walk of life, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So I was actually a student in Switch, like, forever ago. And, well, not actually that long ago. I'm being so dramatic. I came to Switch because my friends invited me, not for Jesus. I didn't grow up in, like, a church home. And I only came because I heard it was, like, cool. And I didn't really care about the church part of it. Well, I ended up getting to join a Switch group with one of my old teachers. Like, she was my teacher in school, and I really liked her. Cool. Yeah. And I was with all my, like, friends. It was, like, so great. And so it took me a while to, like, really even pay attention to the messages and really, like, kind of resonate with that kind of stuff. But I loved my group. So I just kept coming. And my group was, like, it was such a good mix of just, like, we really wrestled with, like, faith and talked about, like, questions about the message or doubts or anything like that. But then also just talking about, like, real life stuff, like what we're currently going through. Like, just, like, we always did highs and lows. So we talked about what our highs were the week was, what our lows were of the week were. Yeah. And then our switch group leaders would kind of speak into that stuff, give us perspective, love us well. And so that was really what kept me going to Switch. And then eventually I actually started paying attention to the messages. And then I was like, oh, this Jesus guy kind of sounds cool. And so then gave my life to the Lord. But it was really my community that, like, grounded me throughout all of middle school and high school. And so, yeah, switch groups are awesome and 10 out of 10 would recommend for you. It's, like, basically automatic friends. Like, as soon as you join a group, you have friends. And that's great because I had a lot of, like, friends in school. Right. A lot of, like, friends. Like, I was, like, friendly with a lot of people. But I was pretty selective about, like, who I shared, like, my life with. So I didn't really have any, like, really, like, close friends before I, like, joined a switch group of just, like, this is just my community. Yeah. And then once I joined a switch group, it was easy. And you start off, some of you are like, I don't know if I want to jump into, like, a group where I just talk about all my life and all my things all the time. But it's just like, let me encourage you. Like, it's a kind of a slow, like, you can initiate it and just like slowly kind of come into it.
They're not gonna make you talk.
Right. You don't have to just, like, start off the first night with just, like, your, like, deepest, darkest thoughts. Yeah. You're more than welcome to if you feel comfortable doing that. But I think it's good to note that it's kind of like a good process of just, like, maybe you share, like, a little bit of what's going on and then get used to it. It's kind of like dipping your toes in the water. Like, that's okay. Like, you're allowed to do that. Yeah. So yeah, we'd love to help you find a switch group. If you're looking for a switch group, let us know in the comment section. We will follow up, get you connected, because we believe in the power of community. Which brings us to our second question.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. if we were created for community, which we were created to be around. It says iron sharpens iron in the Bible. Like we're created to sharpen each other, to lean on each other, to have fun with each other. So if we're created for community, why am I happier alone?
That's such a tough question because, like you were saying, like oh my goodness, iron sharpens iron. But knowing that, like, you have to be selective of who you're opening up to and who you're being vulnerable with, because you have to walk the fine line of guarding your heart and your mind, but also still, like, opening up to people, because we are created to not walk alone, but to walk with our brothers and sisters in Christ. And so I found myself a lot of the times thinking, like, I'm better off alone, like, picking out friends that are going to either lead me down a wrong path or that just aren't keeping my best interest at heart. Like, that kind of will skew your vision and make you think, like, oh, like, I should just finish alone. Like, why do I need other people? And so guarding your heart and mind is very important, but at the same time, you are meant to open up to other people, and God puts people in your life that He intends for you to build relationships with.
That's so good. What I would say for you, if you had this question, my thought is, what happened, like, what is your history with community? What's your history with friendships? Because you may be happier alone because you experienced something that wasn't God-intended community. It was maybe somebody burned you, maybe somebody just out of their own, like, sinful nature, because we're human, they hurt you in some way or whatever, and then you've just now created this resolve that I am better alone. And that's just not true. And so even though it's hard to walk through that process, I would encourage you, man, think about, who are you thinking of when you're thinking of community? Is there something you need to forgive them for? Is there something you need to talk about? Like, walking through those things and asking yourselves kind of those internal questions, and then like reading the scripture, reading the Bible and seeing, what does community actually, like, what is the fruit of community? What does community look like? It's people you should be celebrating with. It's people who should make you feel like good and encouraged. They shouldn't be people that put you down, but also people that are willing to call you out. So it's just kind of this balance, and it's like, I would ask you, have you experienced that kind of community? Get in a Switch group. We'd love to help you get connected. And with that being said, I mean, that's a wrap on Culture Makers today. Again, if you have questions, leave them down below. We'd love to talk about them in future episodes. We love getting to do this with you, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.